Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered who you really are? Not what you do. Not what people call you. Not the version of yourself you post online. But the real you. Maybe you've spent years trying to figure it out. Trying different paths. Different relationships. Different goals. Different versions of yourself. You tell yourself that once you achieve enough, earn enough, become enough, then you'll finally know who you are. But somehow, every answer leads to another question. Every achievement creates another mountain. Every identity you build feels temporary. And deep down, there's a fear most people never say out loud. What if I spend my whole life searching for myself and never find me? But what if the reason you're exhausted isn't because you haven't found your identity? What if it's because you've been looking in the wrong place? What if the answer isn't hidden inside you? What if it has already been spoken over you? Today, we're going to uncover one of the most life-changing truths in Scripture. A truth so powerful that once you understand it, you'll never have to chase your identity again. Because the Bible doesn't tell you to find yourself. It tells you who you already are. And everything changes when you believe it. Imagine two people standing in a dense forest. Both are lost. Both are desperate to find their way home. The first person believes the answer is somewhere inside the forest. So they keep wandering. Every trail looks promising. Every path feels exciting at first. But eventually it leads nowhere. Again and again. The second person discovers something different. A map. From someone who already knows the way. The first person spends his life still searching. The other begins following the map. Most people today are like the first traveler. The world constantly tells us, find yourself. Create yourself. Become whoever you want to be. It sounds empowering. But think about the pressure hidden inside that message. If your identity is something you have to create, then every failure threatens it. Every rejection damages it. Every mistake weakens it. You become responsible for building your entire sense of worth. And that's a burden no human being was designed to carry. The result? Confusion, anxiety, comparison, exhaustion. Because you're trying to answer a question that was never yours to answer. To understand identity, we have to go all the way back to the beginning. The Garden of Eden. The very first humans already knew exactly who they were. They were created by God. Loved by God. Walking with God. Their identity wasn't something they earned. It was something they received. Then the serpent arrived. And notice what he attacked first. Not their possessions. Not their comfort. Their identity. The enemy planted a single thought. You are not enough. You need something more. You need to become something else, and humanity has been chasing that lie ever since. Every insecurity. Every comparison. Every attempt to prove ourselves. It all traces back to that original deception. The belief that who God says we are isn't enough. So we keep searching. Searching for significance. Searching for validation. Searching for worth. Looking everywhere except the one who created us. Imagine trying to learn what you look like using a broken mirror. Every piece shows part of the truth. But none show the whole picture. That's exactly what happens when we build our identity on temporary things. Some people build it on success. But success can disappear overnight. Some build it on relationships. But people can leave. Others build it on appearance. But time changes everyone. Some build it on money. Others on status. Others on talent. The problem isn't that these things are bad. The problem is they make terrible foundations. Because anything that can be taken from you cannot truly define you. Yet millions of people spend their lives standing in front of broken mirrors. Trying to discover who they are through things that were never designed to tell them. And every time those mirrors crack, their identity cracks with them. Now everything changes. Because the Bible speaks directly into the identity crisis of humanity. And what God says about you is astonishing. If you belong to Christ, you are not abandoned. You are adopted. You are not rejected. You are chosen. You are not forgotten. You are known. You are not condemned. You are forgiven. You are not worthless. You are loved. Notice something incredible. None of those identities are based on your performance. They are based on God's declaration. The world says, prove yourself. God says, I know you. The world says, earn your value. God says, you already have value because I made you. The world says, become enough. God says, you are mine. And those two messages lead to two completely different lives. Imagine an orphan who suddenly inherits a kingdom. Legally, everything changes in a single moment. But mentally, that can take time. The orphan may still think like an orphan, still worry like an orphan, still live like an orphan, even while being a child of the King. Many Christians live exactly this way. They have received a new identity, but they're still operating from an old mindset. They still believe they have to earn God's love. They still believe they have to prove their worth. They still live as though acceptance is something they must achieve. Meanwhile, God is saying, you already belong. You are already loved. You are already mine. The battle isn't becoming someone new. The battle is believing who you already are. Think about your phone again. Every app running in the background drains the battery. You may not notice it immediately, but eventually the power disappears. The same thing happens when your identity depends on external things. Every comparison drains you. Every attempt to impress people drains you. Every effort to maintain an image drains you. Every obsession with approval drains you. And eventually you're exhausted. Not because life is hard, but because you're carrying a burden you were never meant to carry. You were never meant to generate your own worth. You were meant to receive it. The moment you understand that, something begins to shift. The pressure starts to lift. So how do you stop searching for yourself? Not through self-discovery. Through God-discovery. Because the closer you get to the Creator, the clearer the creation becomes. 3 simple shifts. First, replace comparison with communion. Stop measuring yourself against other people. Spend that energy getting closer to God. Second, replace performance with presence. Stop asking, how am I doing? Start asking, how close am I staying to Him? Third, replace self-definition with God's declaration. When fear speaks, answer with truth. When insecurity speaks, answer with Scripture. When doubt speaks, answer with what God has already said. Identity isn't something you invent. It's something you receive. When you finally stop searching for yourself, a strange freedom appears. You stop needing everyone's approval. You stop panicking over every mistake. You stop living in constant comparison. Because your identity is no longer hanging by a thread. It's anchored. A tree doesn't wonder whether it's a tree. A branch doesn't question whether it belongs to the vine. And a child doesn't have to earn a place in the family. They simply belong. That's what happens when your identity is rooted in God. You stop striving. You stop pretending. You stop performing. And for the first time, you begin to rest. So here's the truth you can carry with you today. You don't have to spend the rest of your life searching for yourself. The search is over. The Creator has already spoken. You are not what your failures say. You are not what your fears say. You are not what your past says. You are not what the world says. You are who God says you are. Loved, chosen, known, forgiven, redeemed, His. The moment you stop looking for your identity in temporary things is the moment you finally find lasting peace. Because identity was never meant to be discovered in the mirror. It was meant to be received from the one who made you. So the next time you feel lost, the next time insecurity whispers, the next time you wonder whether you're enough, don't search harder. Look higher. Return to the one who already knows your name. And remember, you don't need to find yourself. The Bible already told you who you are. If this message spoke to your heart, go down to the comments and type, I am who God says I am. And if you know someone who's struggling with identity, comparison, or self-worth, share this video with them. And don't forget to subscribe to Prayer's Guide for more simple, life-changing biblical truths. Until next time, stay rooted in God's truth, and remember who you are.